We have returned with another XRP update. Let's simply pause and discuss the current situation. First and foremost, I would like to express my gratitude. I want to express my gratitude to everyone who has been watching the CryptoZX channel throughout the past month and a half, or 2 months. The reason I say that is because retail interest was at an almost all-time low. And now that the market is beginning to flourish and altcoins are blooming, you will notice when you look at it from that perspective, it's funny to me. The real winners, in my opinion, are the ones who are picking up the bloodbaths, but there's a lot to talk about. I'll say it again, everyone will turn into the biggest bulls as if they have never left. You're looking at double digits across the market, but what's truly amazing at the moment is how these coins are rising, double digits. What would happen if the dominance was lower than 64.3%? For altcoins, what would have happened? Naturally, I believe there would have been a lot larger bounce, but that isn't the point of this. We're here to talk about XRP, which is currently up 7% on the daily time frame with a price clean of a 2.22 cents, up 7% in USD, as well as up 0.5% in Bitcoin's relative market capitalization at $129.6 million.
I may, get ahead of myself and say 129.6 million seats instead of 126 million.
Wow. Did I say that when I was really excited? Many people probably wish they knew that the valuation was 129.6 million. According to the assessment, it is worth $129 billion. Naturally, the 24-hour trading volume is approximately $3.7 billion. Just a brief note, though, before we continue, nothing on this channel is financial advice. Always conduct your own research and due diligence before making a cryptocurrency investment. Thus, we are aware. Chairman Paul Atkins has assumed leadership, and since this announcement has essentially gone live, many people in the cryptocurrency community are thrilled because, of course, you're beginning to see these actual things that we used to discuss actually come to pass under the Trump administration. With Donald Trump present as well, newly appointed SAC Chairman Paul Atkins states that establishing a strong regulatory foundation for digital assets through a logical, cohive, and principled approach is one of his top priorities. This naturally indicates that these issues are, of utmost importance to Paul Atkins. Additionally, as we all know, this person is pro-crypto. This is really huge news and many people will probably miss it, but not on our station. We wish to monitor all of these developments and fully comprehend the impact they have on the cryptocurrency market. If you're looking at this, it's obviously a massive, huge day. We've been talking about the worldwide M2 supply and how it relates to the cryptocurrency market. Is this genuinely undamaged? Do we actually intend to follow? Raoul Paul replies, I'm not sure, but it looks cute and I might delete it later. Perhaps, just possibly, it was this simple all along. This will undoubtedly demonstrate that liquidity is the most important component if it succeeds. Still in the markets, not politics, tariffs, rates, or inserting your own stories. Very, very fascinating. As of right now, Bitcoin has been rising as far as we can tell, and the M2 money supply has been soaring. You're beginning to notice a strong positive correlation, and your Bitcoin is doing as we anticipated thus far. We'll see what transpires. But have a look at this, and Anchor on CNBC asserts that Bitcoin has separated from the NASDAQ. Please share your personal opinions about it in the comments section below, but take a look at this. The number of active XRP addresses increased significantly in a single day. Why do we believe that to be true? There's a lot of excitement. Of course, the FOMO factor is causing people to jump in to show a lot of interest and institutions to show a lot of interest. However, it may surprise you to learn that institutions are not only displaying interest when the market is pumping, they're also making purchases when there is a lot of bloodshed. These are savvy investors. OTC transactions are evidently taking place. We don't want to be ignoring a TC on our channel because it's a very, very important market that we kind of forget about because, of course, those numbers are never made public. However, we must understand how the whale accumulation actually happens. I think that a lot of people completely ignore TC. Therefore, even if there was a lot of bloodbath, I continue to believe that accumulation is occurring from an institutional perspective. I'm not suggesting that retail doesn't take up the bloodbath, of course. However, in comparison to larger retail establishments, it's a relatively small number. Going forward, take note of this. If XRP breaks out of the $2.20 zone, it should go quickly to the $2 zone. There are hardly any walls between the zones. I concur. We really retested XRP to see if it could break out at $2.20. Additionally, as you can see from my updates over the past several days, I have been discussing this $2.20 major resistance for us to take back control, and that's precisely what took place. But wait and see. Let's examine the current state of the pricing, When it comes to domination, 64. 53% the guys support it. Additionally, I'm quite impressed by how altcoins continue to perform. As you are aware, we're examining Bitcoin at the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level, which is around $93,000. It is possible that the price of Bitcoin will close at this level today. The fact that Bitcoin returned to this range for the first time since March tells you all you need to know. But if it can accomplish that, I personally predict that cryptocurrencies will rise. And once more, I believe we might begin retesting some of the previously untested levels between $94,000 and $95,000 Bitcoin if we see the close here. However, what's really amazing is that cryptocurrencies are still witnessing double-digit gains in spite of this domination and the spike in Bitcoin. Consider what would have occurred if the level of dominance had been lower. In any case, it is not our purpose. We're here to talk about XRP, which is seeing a stunning upward bounce. It was retested a few hours ago at $2.24. There is clearly a lot of resistance at that range. Naturally, it did not remain very long at that level. As I mentioned before, there's some resistance there. And if it can break out, I think XRP may quickly return to the 23.6. Additionally, I continue to believe that if we can close above this $2.20 major resistance today, personally, I think you are aware of this next aim, which is the 23.6, and it is clear that a 16% move at $2.56 is something to watch out for. However, what a fantastic day. Don't forget to lock in your earnings when you see them, especially if you have meme coins in your portfolio, since several meme codes are currently booming. However, what a fantastic day. One step at a time is how we will go. Please share your thoughts with me below. Is the market truly reversing at this